All right, can you guys all hear me? Been having some issues with my mic. Had it yesterday too for whatever reason, so. But we should be all set now, so. So I apologize about that. All right. So hope everybody's doing good today. Obviously, we had quite a gap up today. There was news that came out before of China. Let me get this set up. I actually had to switch computers. I have a new computer coming, but it won't be here till Wednesday. So I'm trying to get everything all set up. I've got a second one. News that China was putting money into their stock market and stopping short selling. So it seemed that a lot of people were going to be covering their shorts. And that's actually what I was trying to kind of say on social media, that I did think that we were going to have some short covering. We had a lot of people who were bragging about how much money they were making on their shorts, which is fine. I want everybody to make money, long or short, doesn't matter to me. But just that so many people were short in such a quick amount of time, I did think that we probably were going to do a little gap up today. Which we did do about, I think it went up to about actually the NASDAQ's about 1.5%. ES is up about 1%. Now, what I actually got into this morning, I did do some more futures trading, and I've had a pretty nice gain on those so far. I had ES up to about $1,200, and I still have my NASDAQ open. Which is about $600 now. So I'm going to go over, I want to get this all set up, but I do want to go over what I kind of think the market's going to be doing here over the next week or so. And I'm just going to get rid of some of these studies. I cannot wait till my new computer comes in. I had a custom computer made. Been trading on the same computer for probably about 5 years, and it's just, I'm having more trouble with this thing than I've had, over the last couple of weeks, than I've had in a long, long time. just a pain in the butt. All right, so I did already have a question. Ian, thoughts on Tesla? Would stock ever have a red day? Think of shorting it, but I have no confidence just yet to even see it. I'll pull Tesla up here. First thing I'm going to say to you is if you don't have the confidence to see the next move or what you think the next move is going to be, then stay away from it. Don't trade it. Don't push anything. Like I've said about Tesla and Apple and all those other parabolic stocks, why are you going to short it? Why are you going to short such momentum? You could have shorted it at 595, brought that down to about 540. Could have made a killing on that. You could have made even more from 540 to 735. So if you're trying to pick a top in something like Tesla, step away. Don't try to short it yet. It is giving no indication or no reason why it should be shorted. So if you have an idea of why you want to short it, then I'd love to hear it. But there's absolutely no reason, in my opinion, to even try to short Tesla. Ride the momentum. Don't fight the momentum. There's been all year long shorts after short in the stock market, on Tesla, on Apple, who has said this is the top, this is the top, this is where you're going to start seeing this come down. And they are in a lot of pain right now. So, again, ride the momentum, don't fight it. Don't go against the wave. So that's kind of my thoughts on shorting Tesla, Apple, or any of those other big parabolic type trades. So you can see here, again, like I said, we had big gap up here in the market. We gave about 600 points on the Dow on Friday. We have gotten about almost half of that back. It was over half earlier, and it's obviously coming down a little bit. We got the S&P futures up 31 points, the Dow up 260 points, NASDAQ up 140 points, Russell up 18 points. And obviously the Russell is one that I always watch very closely. I don't know if this is even linked on this one. Okay, there we go. So the Russell is one that I watch very, very closely. The Russell was the first one to show a short opportunity, what is that, mid-January. So you could have actually gotten short the Russell mid-January, and that was the first indice that has showed an opportunity to short. And it is typical like that. So the Russell does typically make the first move when you're comparing the Russell to S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow. This is really the first one to continue to watch. So I do have this chart up quite often and do play this chart quite often. So I'm going to pull up the 30-minute chart on this. As most of you guys know, I typically just trade off of the 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. I do look at the 15, 10, and 5, but don't make many decisions based off of those. So we do have a support right around 1630. So right around where it is, it did get down to about 16. It got it right down to about 1630 and has bounced up since then. So you had this nice move up, and then you're starting to see a little bit of profit taking here. So this is where you want to kind of see if we continue this move up, you should see a bounce off of this area. If we continue downward, I would say this would be something that maybe not short-lived, but we are going to see some profit taking into the afternoon. And again, same idea with the ES S&P futures. 3250 is an area that you're going to want to watch for another bounce. Which the ES got down to 3252, so right around there. I'm going to show you this daily chart, which is actually where we picked a bounce area on Thursday, and then obviously on Friday did break through. So what I did here, I actually did some Fibonacci retracement on this. So let me actually get rid of this. So this was my bounce area, 3244 was where I was looking for the market to bounce last week. If my computer works. This is unbelievable. And I don't know if it's my computer or Thinkorswim. I know there's been a lot of issues with Thinkorswim lately. So what I did to find the bounce area I was looking for last week is the Fibonacci retracement, which is this symbol right here, the percent with the vertical line, Fibonacci extension. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the top here from November, so the last little pullback that we had, taking the bottom of the pullback, and then taking our high. And of course, I don't have this set up correctly, but so it's a little different because I don't have it set up to attach to the actual top of the candle right now, but it gives you the idea of what I did. Yours is probably look a little different. So I was just looking for a bounce point. So in the edit properties, the way that I have it set up, I only am showing the one coefficient. Yours is going to be showing all of these. You can use all of them if you want. It will give you a broad idea of different supports and resistance based on Fibonacci. But the only thing I was looking for is where the major bounce point was going to be. And for me, that's just using the one coefficient. So last week when I looked at it, it was 32.44. That's because I had this set correctly. So it would actually attach to the top of the candle. Again, because I switched things around today, it is a little different. But same idea, same area, 32.41 is where it's showing up today for the 100%. And you can see it had 1, 2, 3 bounce attempts right off of that before we had the Friday pullback. And then now we're again above the 32.41 area, which is huge. Definitely something that we need to continue to watch is that this 32.41 area. I'm not 100% convinced that the market's going to just explode back up and break through the all-time highs of 33.37. I do think that with the Iowa caucus tomorrow, that could have something to do with what the market's going to do, depending on who wins that. And the only reason I say that, and I don't want to get into a political discussion, but I had a financial advisor from Merrill Lynch, who I'm pretty good friends with, tell me that is one of their biggest concerns is who wins Iowa tomorrow. Not so much what happens with the coronavirus, but the Iowa caucus tomorrow. So I'm just kind of taking his word and going to pay attention close to that because of what he told me. Again, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican, Democrat. This is just what a financial advisor is telling me, that a lot of from his company are concerned about that he's working with. So we have the 3241 or 3244 area is a big area to watch. On the NASDAQ, I did do the same thing last week, and I have the 901844 area being what I want to watch. So I did not do it on the Dow, so we can go ahead and do that. So again, to do this, we're doing the Fibonacci extension. I only use the one coefficient. I'm taking the high from the last pullback, going to the bottom of the last pullback candle, and then going to the most recent high. And that is putting me at 28,436. So we'll just say 28,435 to be safe. And that you can see that actually is basically the most recent support based on the Darvas boxes that I have set here. So 28.35, I'm just going to say 28.35, more of a round number. So we are above that again, but we do want to make sure that we are going to close above that today before I would consider going extremely long. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to go over? All right, well, so if nobody has any questions, I'll see if I can find some trades to take. So first thing I'm gonna look at is just the simple foundation of my trading, the 1550 EMA cross to the upside. And not much. In the last 2 days. there's got to be something that's picking up here. Coop, Fitbit, American Axle came up in a couple scans for me last week, but I'm not trading American Axle. Coop is the only one. So you can see Coop is starting to build a small squeeze, but I would not play Coop quite yet. Netflix way up today. We have Google earnings after. Take a look at Google. Up 2 3/4% around there. Yeah, so here's my problem with what happened on Friday and today. If you weren't in a trade prior to Friday, you're chasing now. I'm just curious on Google options. So call about 3 times average, puts about 2.85 times average. So they're still about 50-50 on the earnings. Expensive calls to risk anything over earnings on that. You have expected move of $73, so $1,400. So as you guys probably just saw, I had a gold position that I had going that just hit my stop. So gold seems to be reversing, which means the market probably is going to reverse a little bit too. That's not a bad iron condor for Google. Hey, cool. I just saw your message. If you expand it, is it clear? So the idea behind this iron condor with Google, they do have earnings today, and what you'd be looking for is the volatility crush on that. Now, this iron condor, you would need the trade within about $70, which is the expected move. So you would be needing it to stay. You would be needing it to stay inside that expected move. Now, Apple and Amazon both did beat big, and obviously went above both. Actually, no, Apple did stay within the expected move. Amazon beats, and then the next day came back down within the expected move. Um, so if you were to do a type of earnings crush trade with Google, you would want to close out tomorrow morning, whether it's a beat or a loss, because it can move in or out depending on how it is. But this actually isn't a bad idea. I'm gonna wait till the end of the day to put something like that on. But with how the market has been, I wouldn't mind playing a expected move type trade on Google. And you're risking 130. I'm sorry, profit 130 for a risk of 370. It's not a terrible loss. I would just do it for one or two contracts max. I wouldn't put my bank on it. Okay, yeah. Left side watch list, Kula, is there's a lot on there. Is there any certain chart that you were looking to look at? Yeah, seeing a nice reversal on ES. Okay, no problem. Just let me know if there's anything specific you want to look at. All right, so I have written down for the Google potential earnings type play. Space obviously is one that I've been playing for a while. And is showing a little slowdown, but kind of basing out around the 1550 area. So it does look to be setting up a channel between 1550 and the 1980 area. So I would just say 1550 and $20. would be a channel. So I would look to go long again, or to actually buy more over 19. I'm just gonna say over $20, just because that's, again, a round number that the market likes. So if it doesn't break over $20, then it's probably not gonna go much higher in the short term. Or I would look to be buying again down in the mid 15 area again. So adding to around 15, or buying more above 20 is what I'd be looking at. Obviously, I did the Fibonacci extension again on space, and it gave me a 1434 area. But because it's such a short time frame on the actual space ticker, because it was a special type buyout, that it's hard to do Fibonacci retracement on something like this. So it's hard to do a little bit technical on something that's only been around for 2 months. But as of right now, that's what I'm seeing of it. So we need Apple to get over 315.75 in order to continue to make the move up. Obviously, it's going to depend based on the market and what the market's doing, and it does look like the market is pulling back a little bit. Actually, let's see if I want to get into gold again here. So I will. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing with gold and some futures. I played it overnight, made a couple $100 on it today doing this. Just gonna do it with one contract. So it just got filled at 1583.10 on micro gold futures. Again, I'm only doing this with one contract at a time at this point because I'm testing out a new system. So what I'm going to do is I'm using the MACD with this. Okay, so I can also use the 10 SMA with the 20 SMA cross, and that gives similar results as the MACD. But I am testing this out right now with the MACD, and obviously it has made a couple $100 from Friday to right now. So it's not a whole lot, but if you're doing this with a standard GC gold futures, that's about $2,000. So I'm about 1/10 of what a typical futures contract would pay out. So if I go through this and I'm testing this out and it's working out great, then this is something that I will continue to do, and I'll push this onto the actual futures contracts rather than the micro futures. So I use the 30-minute chart. When the value, which is the blue line of the MACD, crosses above the average, which is this tan line, I am going long. And when it's below, I'm going short. So you might have noticed that when I was on here before, I had a micro gold position close out, and that's because it crossed back above. And typically I would have this to just be buying back in, but because I was doing this live, I was I wanted to make sure that I could watch it. So again, I did just buy in at 1583.10. I'm going to go to my micro golds. I'm going to sell. I'm going to turn this into a market order. I'm going to double this because I want to go short if it crosses back down below. A good to close. Going to go to the settings button right here. Click on symbol, and your symbol that you have up will just pop up automatically. Method, study, edit. Get rid of the simple moving average. You're going to go to add condition, study, type in MACD. So again, value, because I am long right now, I want to, if it crosses below, I want to close and go short. Pull up MACD on this side as well, and you're going to change the plot to average. So now I have, if my value line crosses below my average line, this trade is going to trigger. And I'm going to put this on the 30-minute, including extended hours trading session. So now this trigger, my long position will take me short because I have one contract of MGC and I'm selling two of them. So I'm going to sell my long and then sell to open another short. Confirm, we're going to send that through. And then there you go. So that position now is open, and that will continue to stay open, my long, until this line right here, down here, is going to cross back down below, this blue line is going to cross back down below this tan line. So technically, had I done it the way that I just set it up, we would have bought in about 1581.60, so would have had a couple dollar extra, but I just did not have that order in at the time. So that is showing what it can do. So I did lose a little bit here, but it does happen. You're never going to win every single trade. The idea behind this is making more on your winners than losing on your losers. So if you can make 10, 20, 30, 40% and cut your losers at 5, 10%, you're going to be better off. So this is strictly a technical trade for me. I don't want to own gold. I just am doing a lot of back testing and seeing how some of these are working out. So there you go. We've got the ES moving down into the area that we saw earlier. And we'll see if this sells off or if this is going to bounce or what's going to happen here. So hopefully the market can get a little bounce here. Came down to 32.42.70. It's about $1 off of the Fibonacci extension. And again, if there's anything anybody wants to go over, got the screen up now so we can go over everything. So we're seeing a little bounce. All right, I'm actually getting pretty short or pretty close to shorting the market right now. All right, so I'm gonna short it, and I'm gonna do minis because of the run up that we've had today. So I'm not gonna risk a whole lot. So I did just buy one micro. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up to buy another one again on this MACD cross, and I'm going to stop out up here at 32.61, a little bit higher. 30, yeah, we'll do 32.6150 as a stop. Oops, did that wrong. I'm going to buy it back at 32.61, not sell another one. So stop out at 32.6150. And I'm also going to set an order to buy, or I'm sorry, to short more. And just like with the gold, we're going to go to edit, delete, add condition, go MACD. When the value crosses below the average, the 30-minute extended chart, I'm going to short two more. So that would give me 3 total positions if that happens. If it doesn't happen, I will be playing it between this area and 32.61. So I'm giving this a lot more room than you typically would on a futures, but because I'm doing a micro futures, I feel more comfortable doing that. So there you go. So a couple trades set up. I will be around. I'm going to try to get my primary computer to work again to see if maybe I can get a better. I've got a warning here on the system that the video resolution is off, Kula. So there is something wrong with this. So I'm going to try to get this set up back up on my primary system. and I will open this back up. And again, if anybody has any questions, we can go over anything that you want.